let's get right into it. We're going to be ranking the mechanical engineering courses, which ones are the hardest in a tier list. Starting off, we have a bunch of the math courses, and then we get into the more mechanical engineering specific courses. Some of these are general engineering as well, not just mechanical. But if you're going into engineering, it's one of the hardest degrees. Some of these courses are just absolutely brutal. I remember when I was in my first year of engineering, we had 90 students sign up in that first year. And after the first year, we were down to 45. So literally half the students either dropped out or switched degrees or failed some of their first year courses. So some of these are just gonna be absolutely brutal, but some of them are not too bad. Usually what I find is the more theoretical courses, those are the ones that are really hard that people struggle with. And the application courses, those ones are a little more straightforward. So let's start off with the calculus courses. First off, we have Calculus 1. This one, it kind of depends. If you took Calculus 12 in high school, it's probably not going to be that bad. It might even be D level because it's almost the same course. But most people haven't taken Calculus 12, so I'm going to go and put it at B. Say it's kind of the medium. It's not the hardest calculus course, but not the easiest either. Next up, I'm going to rearrange this. I got Calculus 2 over here. Calculus 2, this course is brutal. This is where you have to learn all of your integration methods, and then they also have a section on series. And this is one of those courses where every problem just looks the same when you start at it, but then when you go to actually solve it, there's a bunch of different methods for putting these together. So this is the one that most people struggle with. Calculus 2, surprised or not, it's harder than Calculus 3. So I'm going to put that as S tier. Definitely one of the hardest math courses that you'll take as part of your engineering degree. This is one that just so many people have a hard time with. Even I've been tutoring this course for years, and even after years of tutoring it, I still sometimes look at the problem and it takes me a second to realize which integration method that we need to use to solve this one. Next up, we got Calculus 3. So this is where you start to move into multivariable calculus. So Calculus 1 and 2 is all single variable. You have y as a function of x, and then you do calculus on it. For Calculus 3, you've got 3 variables, so you have z as a function of x and y. The reason why this is so hard is because everything starts going 3-dimensional. So it's really hard to draw things out. It's a lot easier to draw a 2D curve than it is to draw a 3D surface. So it's pretty hard that way, but honestly not quite as hard as Calculus 2. I'm going to put this at A tier. Next up, we have differential equations. Sometimes this is called Calculus 4, but it's just the last calculus course that you take. And I don't know why this is, but for some reason, differential equations is the easiest calculus course. It's like Calculus 1, 2, and 3. Everything gets more and more complicated as you go through and solve those problems. And then as soon as you get to differential equations, it like resets and all of a sudden it's way easier. So I'm going to put that down as C. Linear algebra. Okay, this is the first year course that you take, which is so abstract. And the way that most teachers teach it is they teach it in a really abstract way where all that they're focused on is the procedures for how to work through all of these different problems. So essentially all that you're trying to do is you're trying to memorize all these different procedures. But it's kind of like Calculus 2 where each problem looks the same when you're first looking at it, and it takes a while to figure out what do I actually need to do to solve this problem. To make it way easier, you can try and visualize what's happening in those problems and you can draw it out. But I didn't learn this till way later after I took the course. So while I was studying for it, I was literally just trying to memorize. It was like every question had a 5-step procedure, and I was just trying to memorize as many of these 5-step procedures as I could. So I'm going to put this one at A tier. Statistics. This is the most frustrating course, and I don't know if this is just a me problem or this is how everyone feels about this, but when you watch in your lectures and you're watching your teacher teach statistics, you look at it and you just think like, oh yeah, this is so easy. It's just a few steps. This is all I need to do. No problem. And then when you actually go to solve the problems yourself, for some reason, it's way harder to solve them. And it's annoying because a lot of the questions, like they're really short. The solution is only a couple lines, but just trying to figure out how to put all these together is quite annoying. So for me personally, I hate statistics. I'm putting this at an S tier. This is hard. Physics, not too bad, especially if you've taken high school physics before going into university, which most people have taken at least some high school physics, either physics 11 or physics 12. It's just kind of a continuation onto that, so it's not too bad. It does usually have a little bit of calculus and a little bit of linear algebra in there, but it's not too much. It's just a little bit. So I'm going to put this at C tier. I think physics is not too bad. Statics, okay, this was the course that I got the worst grade in my entire engineering degree. It's a first year course, and this is like the weeding out course in a lot of schools. But now that I look back at it, I realize that it's actually not as hard as I made it out to be. It's definitely a little bit more manageable. At the time, I would have said this is S tier for sure, but now that I'm looking back at this, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I'm going to put it at B tier. I think I just didn't approach it very well. Okay, next up we have thermodynamics. This course is definitely the hardest. The easy S tier for thermodynamics. This is a mixture of chemistry and physics, but then also a lot of applications for engineering. And it's just such a difficult course. You spend the first half of the course just trying to understand the equations and the physics behind what's happening. And then in the second half of the course, you get into the applications. And then in my engineering degree, there was kind of thermodynamics 1 in second year, and then thermodynamics 2 in third year. And then you could take another one in fourth year if you want. So it just keeps getting more and more in depth. And I taught this course last semester, and I did a big deep dive on the course where I read a bunch of textbooks, I solved a ton of practice problems, and I did a bunch of research to put all these lecture notes and assignments and tests together. And normally when I go on a deep dive like that, I end off thinking like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I know how all the pieces fit together now. I come out of this feeling enlightened. After I taught this thermodynamics course, it just made me appreciate how in depth it is, how much history is involved in thermodynamics, and how all these different areas of applications, you can go down a crazy rabbit hole. So even after teaching this course, I came out of this like, yeah, this is a really hard course. I would say probably the hardest mechanical engineering course. Except we got dynamics. Dynamics is not too bad. Kind of depends on the teacher a little bit. If they follow a textbook, then it's going to be pretty straightforward. If they kind of go rogue and they make their own problems, it might be a little bit harder. But I'm going to put this at B tier because I'd say it's not the hardest, but it's definitely up there. Okay, next up we have SolidWorks. So this is like 3D modeling. So there's other softwares that people use, but most of the time it's SolidWorks. So this is your part of your manufacturing where you're creating 3D models, and then you're creating parts drawings, and then you're going into the shop, and then you're manufacturing stuff. This is easy D tier. Honestly, as long as you're like decent at computers, this is going to be super straightforward. For me, this was like one of my favorite courses just because it's so applied and it's so useful. And then anytime I went and I did a co-op work term, I would fire up SolidWorks, and once we design something on a whiteboard and we do our little sketches, then we go into the 3D modeling, we make our nice 3D model, and then we create the drawing, and then we manufacture it. And I just found it super satisfying. Like it's the full process from having something in my head to having something physical that I'm holding that I just made myself. So it's easy, but it honestly was one of my favorites. Solid mechanics, okay, this course was a nightmare. When I took this course at UVic, our teacher basically told us that with the final exam that every single section in the book was testable. So in any other course that we took, they would kind of take a textbook and they would say, okay, these sections are the ones that you're testing on. Our solid mechanics teacher said every single question in the book is testable, which just made it ridiculously hard. It was, nearly impossible just to do the entire textbook for that course. So that made it S tier, but honestly, my other solid mechanics teacher made it a lot easier. So I'm going to put it at A tier because I'd say it's hard, but it's definitely not the hardest. Fluid mechanics, honestly, the same boat. Hard, but not the hardest. Same sort of deal. The applications part of fluid dynamics is super helpful and super useful. When I graduated from engineering, I worked in an industry where I was sizing pumps. And so that was my job, was to use that Bernoulli equation to figure out the size of your pump. I was literally just using that equation over and over again, sizing pumps for all these different applications. So that part was actually really helpful. It's like one of the main equations for my degree that I actually used in my work when I was working as an engineer. When you start to get into the theoretical part of fluid dynamics, like in third year and fourth year, it does start to drift into S tier territory. But the second year version of fluid dynamics is not too bad. Fluid statics and dynamics, yeah, it's not too crazy. I would say it's hard, but it's not incredibly hard. Like it's definitely doable. Capstone project. Okay, this is probably the hardest one to place on this list because a lot of the academic part of the capstone project is very easy. Like to get a good grade in your capstone project is not very hard. As long as you put in a lot of effort, it should be no problem to get a good grade on the capstone project. But this was definitely the most time-consuming course, and it's not even close. The other courses just don't even come close to how much effort we put into our capstone project. When I did my capstone project at Camosun College, there was 4 of us on the team, and we were literally working 7 days a week at the college, getting there early, leaving late at night every single day for the entire summer. They set it up nice so you don't really have a lot of other courses at that time, so you can literally just sink in as much time as you have into the capstone project. But it was also my favorite course out of this whole thing. So I'm going to say the academics is pretty easy. In terms of academics, I'd say D tier, but in terms of how much time you have to put in, I would say S tier. So I'm going to say that kind of levels out at about A tier for that one. Definitely not the hardest. in terms of getting good grades, but it's also the most frustrating in terms of y you don't have a clear path forward when you do the capstone. Everything that you're doing is you're trying to design, manufacture, and test something. And what ends up happening in all these projects is the stuff that you design doesn't always work the first time. So it's one of those things where you try something, it doesn't work. Okay, back to the drawing board. You try it again, and you try it again, and you try it again, until you eventually you get something which works. So it's a lot different than all these other courses where there's one clear answer to the practice problems. The capstone project, there is no clear answer. There is many ways of accomplishing it. So you just have to try and come up with a way that makes sense within the time that you have. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Like this video, give me a subscribe if you thought this was cool.